Now, activism against our farmers, it's out of control and it's a blight on the Australian way of life, whether it's vegans storming abattoirs or Greens members trespassing on private property. Farmers have had enough. An inquiry into Victorian animal activists has been handed down, and those who invade properties face big fines. Peter Walsh, Victoria's Deputy Opposition Leader, joins me now to discuss the new laws. Peter, tell us exactly what these new laws propose, and you must be incredibly disappointed that this doesn't go far enough.
Very disappointed, Peter. So the findings of the report, endorsed what everyone was saying, that farmers feel threatened, feel intimidated, have suffered because of illegal invasions by extreme animal activists, put their families under pressure, put their employees under pressure, is a biosecurity risk for those particular properties where these activists trespass. I don't believe the report goes anywhere near far enough to protect farmers. One of the key terms of reference was how better to protect farmers. I think when you find recommendation 1 in the report actually talks about having codifying a public interest test to allow people to break the law to put surveillance devices in farms. I just think every person involved in animal agriculture in Victoria would send a shiver down their spine to think that this legalises people entering their property to put surveillance devices in.
Peter, I'm surprised at the leniency with the fines here. I mean, we're talking $1,000 for breaching biosecurity measures. Now, we've got a mob up here in Queensland called Extinction Rebellion, and they terrorise the heart of the CBD just about every day. We get up to a dozen that are arrested. They go before left-leaning magistrates or judges. They give them a slap on the wrist and they're out there again. Surely we need more punitive fines, more punishable sort of actions to get these guys under control.
But the report doesn't actually... The $1,000 is a number that comes out of New South Wales. The report doesn't actually recommend a number. It just talks about the government should have a look at actually having on-the-spot fines. As you've said, I don't believe it goes far enough. If you talk about a biosecurity risk in a piggery, in a broiler shed, on a dairy farm, it could cost that business hundreds of thousands of dollars. It could put a whole industry at risk. It should be a very serious fine on the spot. So it is a major deterrent. The report doesn't address one of the terms of reference about having some significant deterrents to stop people doing what they've been doing.
The other thing too, Peter, is we saw David Littleproud release about 12 months ago a map, or sorry, the eco-terrorists, as I like to call them. They released a map of farms and properties that they claimed were engaging in animal cruelty. Now, that was incredibly disturbing for a number of these particular properties. Have they addressed that type of thing in this particular set of recommendations?
No, they haven't, because that was an issue under Commonwealth law, and our Commonwealth colleagues did go a long way to improving that. But when you think about that map, there was farms there that felt very threatened by the fact that all of a sudden they were up on a website and they didn't know who would be coming down the drive the next morning, like you saw at Gippy Goat with John Goman and his family. So put a lot of people under severe pressure, and the map was wrong. In a lot of cases it was wrong. They actually had greenhouses as places that were raising animals. They actually had warehouses that they were describing as farms. Apart from the fact that it threatened people, it was actually factually wrong as well.
Yeah, I know a couple of greyhound farms that were identified. They were very upset at what went on. So what does this code of practice essentially say, Peter?
The report here that you're talking, the report, Peter, well, the report, as I said, has found that farmers have suffered because of illegal activities by extreme animal activists, but it hasn't addressed the other side of it as to having some major deterrents recommended for the Victorian government to adopt. And I think it has been very, very soft, and I think it's actually missed the point. I think the Andrews Labor government in Victoria has missed an opportunity to stand up and really back Victoria's farmers. Victorian agriculture is worth billions and billions of dollars to the state, both in domestic consumption and exports, creates tens and thousands of jobs across regional Victoria. There was an opportunity for the Andrews government to make a major statement here, but their members of the committee introduced the report as it is, outside of politics, voted against some of those key recommendations, like codifying a public interest test into the Surveillance Act, and put a minority report in trying to strengthen it up. But as those that know anything about parliamentary reports, the government of the day has the numbers on the committee, and they've done what they've done.
Well, Peter Walsh, keep at it. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of farmers who are thinking tonight that this hasn't gone far enough. You've certainly advocated that, so hopefully we can get some amendments in there. Thanks for joining us on Sky News Across Australia.
Thanks very much, Peter.